Yo, what's up, guys? A little bit of a different camera angle. I still have to get used to it, maybe you guys as well, but I want to keep this guy in focus or something as well. Thinking about getting some LED lights or whatever. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for what else I should do with this, or go back to the other one, or just... We'll see. Let me know. But the thing of today, what we're talking about is the last 10 extent. As you guys may have noticed already, there's not too many things going on right now. This one is going away. This one is just logging in. This one is still an event that's ongoing. This one is just an Instagram event. This one no one cares about. I'm still not sure why they're still doing these things, to be honest. But so yeah, all of the events are kind of gone. So pretty much all of Reddit community and the whole community in general is going to be like, let me in! Give me more events! And all of those kind of memes that I posted in the past. Love those memes. So we're going to look at a little bit of Reddit later of events, but also going to talk about what could be the final thing. So we have the 10x10 coming in the mid of December. I will let you know about the dates that I think that it will be released in just a second. People might say like, yeah, there's an LD5 on this, so it's going to be an LD5 related something. Well, I can tell you that much, that I remember what was on the Witcher one, which was a Leo. What does Leo have to do with The Witcher? Absolutely nothing. What does this thing have to do with the actual event? Absolutely nothing. So that said, that is pretty easy to determine, like, yeah, no, that doesn't matter anything which one is on this. The LD5 on this, no, it doesn't matter. It legit doesn't matter. But then the question might be, when do I think this patch will hit, or when do I think we would be knowing more about this? Well, currently, Summoner has been doing a 2-week update cycle, so every 2 weeks there is going to be another update. Last one was on 11/27, which was on the Wednesday of 2 weeks ago, which was on a Wednesday. So if we take that to the next one, I do expect the update to be around like one of those 3 days, 10th, 11th, or 12th, which does also mean that we probably do know or get a notice of what is coming tomorrow. So I guess tomorrow will be the time where, well, I won't be home for a bit of time, and Kantos has this habit of giving the updates at the moment that I'm not home, so I can't make a video right on it. So it's probably going to be tomorrow, right? Either tomorrow or the day after, I do expect to get this notice in. So that is my expectation. Do I know what is coming at that time? No, I do not. Do I already know what is coming at that time? Nope, I do not. I have no clue what is going to be coming at that time, any kind of shape or way. But people might be like, let's say you're a CompTOS employee, you should know. Well, no, they don't tell me shit. That is the main thing. They don't tell me shit. But first of all, for this video, just going to be talking about what does Reddit think it is or is not. And then I'm going to give you my 2 cents of what I think it is or is not. So first of all, this meme, I absolutely love this one. People's level of expectation for the 10th anniversary event right now. High as fuck. Oh man, this is the best, man. This is the best. Best I can do is 100 ms. I do expect a little bit more than 100 ms. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of people going back and forth of thinking what it is, what it could be, but... yeah, I do think that I think that there's also like the meme is that the expectation is very high, but I think nowadays most people do not really have that high of an expectation. I do expect them to go out with a banger on this event though. But then it's also going to be the question, what are they going to do next year? Which I will talk a little bit about as well later too. So let's just see what else of other things they could go. They read our posts. Yeah, I can tell you CompTOS does read your posts. Do they always do something with it? Most likely not, but I do know that there's people actually reading posts and then sending stuff through to HQ and those kind of things. I do know that they do track their medias. Yes, they do. Last event. LD5 pick event. I think even if they would ever do an LD5 event, they would never do a pick event. It would either be just a blessing or maybe like 5 different choices or 10 different choices, but they would never do an exact pick event because exactly this reason, everyone would pick exactly the same unit and you don't really want that. It would just cloud the one unit with too much of that. 10th anniversary scrolls were actually pretty badass, but yes, it was also... I wouldn't mind if they come back with the 10th anniversary event. I do think that the 10th anniversary event was pretty legit. But are they actually gonna do that? I am not 100% sure. It looks a little bit odd to do it all the way at the anniversary itself and then all the way here. But I have something to say about that later too, and which we'll get into in a second. LD4 pick event. I do think that an LD4 pick event would definitely be a fair take. There's a lot of LD4s right now that are HOH in the first place. They don't really matter too much. But there's still a lot of people that would like to pick up like an Iris, or they would like to pick up like a Leia, or any of the HOHs that they missed. Probably wouldn't recommend that. Would recommend to go for the units that are non-HOH. I do know that a lot of people would like to have a Deborah, but when they pick a Deborah, they're probably going to be disappointed that the dungeon teams are not actually going to be faster and going to be failing more. They're going to be faster, but they're going to be failing a lot more. So you have that 2 cents on the Deborah coming in. Vitra's not bad. Dark Sirius not bad. Personally, for myself, I'm still missing a Mirane, so that would be my choice. So I would say LD4 choice event would definitely not be bad for the game. So these are kind of the choices. I think more people are actually saying something like this. I think that this seems very reasonable. It's like LD4 choice, anniversary scrolls, free Devilmons. That could definitely be a reasonable thing that could happen. I also love these kind of guys. Reddit is still somewhat full with it, but I also do notice that the community is getting smarter of just noticing like people like this, they don't actually play the game. Like if you actually play the game, sure, there's going to be some out there that actually played the game and still don't have any LD5s, but also playing for 2-3 years, like 8 years ago, matters pretty much nothing compared to playing the last 3 years. And if they just have been AFKing the last 3 years, like, yeah, that doesn't help. And these guys do not understand how many scrolls 8.5 years is. No, we do not understand 8.5 years. I have accounts that are 8.5 years old. Alts that I never played on, they don't have LD5s. That doesn't mean anything. I'm happy to see that the community does pick up like, yeah, these people are not that interesting to talk about. Which does also mean like getting an LD5 nowadays is a lot easier than before, even free to play. So giving out like a full free to play LD5 in an event is not as crazy right now as it would have been like many years ago. So keeping that in mind also for like what updates or what events they could do. A lot of people are actually talking about more 10th anniversary scrolls, and I would personally like 10th anniversary scrolls as well. That's the thing that I think throughout all of the events was pretty cool, because every scroll does have the high chance of getting an LD5 share. There's some that got like 5, there's some that got 0, but yeah, I think that one was, compare that to the SWC scrolls, I like these a lot more. With that, I really a lot more. This is an interesting one, however. SWC scrolls are back in the game. Normally, if you didn't have any, some scrolls do not pop up. And SWC scrolls actually got back into the game, which does give somewhat of an indicator of, are they going to put SWC scrolls back? Because to be honest, SWC scrolls were pretty bad. I didn't really like those at all. It's way too low chance of getting the LD5s, but it gives you like, ooh, I should get those because of LD5s. Like, no, you're probably not going to get those. There was way higher odds of getting an LD5 in a, what's it called, like the 10th anniversary scroll than in these. Sure, with those, you got like any LD5 here, you get your choice LD5 if you do get them, but yeah, no, this is just, this scroll's bad. And me seeing this scroll here popping up again rather than seeing a 10th anniversary scroll popping up again, I'm not too sure. I would have rather seen like 10th anniversary scroll popping up again rather than the SWC, but who knows, might have been just like a minor mistake. But it is definitely something that is interesting to see for, might it be part of a 10x10 event? Because it could be, but then it's also like, yeah, a big disappointment, because SWC scrolls in general were not that well received. Random question, should Countess disable crit animation? I think a lot of people would say agree, but I would say that they put too much effort for making new skins and all of those things that they probably would not. Game is literally unplayable. We don't have transmog. Cyber's bikini transmog. Yep. We still don't have that one. Also for the transmogs, I think they should really be looking into transmogs of units that don't have too many transmogs yet, because those are already 5, those are like 1 million, you have 6 million, but then we have some units out there, if we check the collection, that have pretty much near to no skins, or no skins even at all. Where are the Slayer Strikers? This one was relatively new, but it's just 1. These, for example, like legit, they're one of the oldest. They're even like close to all of the net 4s. That's how old they are. But give these things a better skin, man. They ugly. It could be cool. Same for more of those collab units. They really don't want to give skins to collab units, it seems. But those are, by base skin, one of the cooler units. And then by skins, one of those are like, yeah, nope. Not great. Interesting one, talking about like the history of what they've done on like 6th anniversary, 5th anniversary, but I would say those are also very different times. Like 6th anniversary, 5th anniversary, around that time we didn't get anything for events, like legit. We were not getting jack shit for events, not at all. Nowadays, we do get a lot of stuff, so I don't really think that this matters all too much, to be honest. This is also a pretty decent factor, which I would say I'm not necessarily sure if they were unhappy about this or they're just trying to get more accounts in, because there was a lot of account re-rolling of getting LD5s. There's a lot of accounts with like 2, 3, maybe even 4 LD5s that were made around that time. And that actually did show like getting LD5s is not as rare as like crazy stuff. Also, those accounts were like bought, traded, sold, whatever for actually not that much because it was relatively easy to get. So is that therefore something that they were like, ooh, this was a mistake, not gonna do again? Or I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people do still hint towards the 10th year scroll or the SWC scrolls. Weirdly, we do see the SWC scrolls as shown before. Expectation tier list, LD5 select a random LD5. I don't know. Insane collab. There was this Kingdom of Fighters collab poster that popped up somewhere on Facebook, but then I haven't seen it anywhere else yet. So I'm not sure about that one, if that was like just a fake thing or actually a real thing. LD4 selector seems very reasonable, or ridiculous amount of scrolls. Could be either of those. Oh, and someone also did ask on Reddit, is the new Transmog skin faster? No, it's very slow. Which is actually a sad thing. Like, make new skins faster. Like, if you want to make good money, like, this is just a bad business deal. If they made the Tesha skin faster, everyone and their mom was getting the Tesha skin, because everyone and their mom is using Tesha to farm freaking giants. So then everyone would have a Tesha with a skin over there. Easy business. Also, it's just kind of sad for the people that make the skin and the artists and stuff working on it, because they know it's like, oh, is this skin going to be fast? Like, no, make it slow. It's like, okay, well, then no one is going to use it. What's the point of working on it in the first place? I don't know. Might you ask which one is fastest? Yes, base. I bought it and it looks a lot faster. No, it is actually slower. It is slower. So then the question, what do I think is going to happen for the 10th anniversary? Well, what I can say is that the December pack always has the craziest pack out there. So that's also like, we have a few decent packs out there right now. If anyone asks me, it's like, should I buy them right now? I would always say around December or November, say like, okay, if your budget is that you're just gonna buy like a $100 pack, I would wait for mid-December or Christmas, because that is the most crazy pack that we get all year. First time that they introduced a Transcendence scroll, it was from the December pack as well. First time that they had an Ancient Transcendence scroll or Choice Transcendence scroll, all of those kind of like Transcendence related scrolls, it's always around Christmas, just a little bit before that as of recent years. So with that said, I do expect a crazy scroll with that too. I am not 100% sure where this scroll came. Yeah, this was the 10th anniversary one where you have like 10 units and then you get like 3, or well, in this case, if you only miss 3, you get like 10 units and you choose 1 out of 10. It's always a new one. I think the other one was like an Ancient Transcendent scroll and then not the 10 year, which is just like pull 10 units, get 1 or something like that. Or it's like the guaranteed new one of those two. I'm not 100% sure which one was on that. I think in the last 2 years, they had the exact same on that one and they didn't do an upgrade on it. But the 10th anniversary, are they actually going to do an upgrade on it or not? I am not 100% sure on that. I do kind of expect them to get an upgrade on that, or just sell this scroll once again. That could also be a thing. And for the amount of units most people are missing right now, this is pretty much a choice net 5 or relatively close to. If you're only caring about like 2 or 3 out of like the 20 or 30 units that you're missing, it's very good odds that you can click on one of those 2 or 3 with this kind of scroll. So this is definitely a very nice scroll. But yeah, for people that played as much as I did, have only 3 of those, and yeah, then you only need the LDs kind of stuff. So are they actually going to go into the LD stuff? I'm not sure. I'm expecting this kind of scroll with a pack, so it's not going to be the event itself. With the event itself, I'm expecting something most likely along the lines of an LD4 choice. That is the expectation that I have. Is it actually going to be that way? I'm not 100% sure. But then it's also, do they go out with a banger? And I do expect that. But we do already notice it right now that the moment that we don't have that many updates, everyone's like, yeah, should I even be farming right now? There's no cashback on farming. It's kind of boring. Fever booster is gone. People are playing less, people are spending less, people are just less involved into it if there's less events. So for that reason, I do expect them to go out with a bang. There's only 2 things that I have in mind right now. Most of the 10x10 events took about a month and a half, or they were there for like a month and a half. Like, okay, for most of those, you can see like updates towards like a certain date, but you can see all of those events were running for pretty much, yeah, I think the minimum was a month and a half. This one, if it runs for a month and a half, we're already in February pretty much, which is an interesting take. So is that already going to be a long event that's going to run just until the end of the year, and then it's like, yo, 10x10 is done, which would make sense to a certain extent. Like, okay, it's a 10th year anniversary event. We're going to cut it off the moment that the year ends. Or are you still going to run it all the way until the next anniversary? I don't know, could be a thing as well. Plus, what are we going to do next year? Because this year's like 10th anniversary event, we even know like Jubego is supposedly quitting, but then probably still making more videos than I do and Jambi do together, but whatever. But what are they gonna do next year? Because if you have like, okay, 10x10, yo, let's say LD4, LD5, crazy scrolls, everything, and then it's like, yo, guys, see ya, that's it. Like, no, they gotta keep up the hype for next year. But how can they keep up the hype for next year? And I actually thought about this already. What would I personally do to keep up the hype for next year? Would be actually very simple. Is I would remove this. I would make this a 1 rather than a 2. But it would be LD Transcendence summoning pieces for 300. Which means you have to do your dailies for 300 days to get a LD5 free to play. What does this mean? People are playing for at least another year. You have another year to extend where your game is definitely not dying because people are gonna get this thing. Sure, they're gonna pull their fucking light pure vanilla cookie at the end of 300 days and then quit anyways. But not just kidding, but you know the memes. But I would say that that is a very good way where you just have another 300 days to figure out like how to improve the game on something. You don't have to give it right away, but it's definitely a way to say like, okay, we're prolonging the game. Plus, you can see right now like how much easier it is to pull an LD5 by just the sheer amount of more LDs that you get nowadays. If you compare the LDs that you get nowadays free to play compared to the LDs that you got I don't know how many years ago, you get so freaking much more right now. So getting a free LD5 right now is not as crazy as it sounds anymore. Then again, the moment that you get this, it would be, we're already in like November of 20, yeah, I would say the 300 days, is that like early November? I guess so. Yeah, that would make sense. So late October, early November, you're 300 days in 2025. That's very far from now. Plus, people are going to be missing their dailies from time to time because it does actually happen. I would say that make the dailies like 1 less on this, because I always do like all of the dailies are very simple until you get one of those like, yeah, I'm not farming this, I'm not farming that, I'm not farming that, I'm not farming that. So I have to do one of those. If I finish this one too, then I have to do one of those that I might forget. And even if I do them, I forget to claim it. I miss these things all the time. But let me know in the comments if you think that would be too OP or not too OP. Also, let me know in the comments what you think might be the anniversary 10x10 or what they're gonna do for next year. I do expect to have more information on it either tomorrow or the day after. And of course, I'll be doing a review on how it looks like at that moment. If there's any shop or anything, I'll give my recommendations on what to buy, what not to buy. You know where to find me, here on the YouTube channel and on the Twitch. Guys, thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next one. I still have to get used to this freaking angle though, but it probably takes a little bit of time. Same for you guys. Well guys, thanks for watching. See you later. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.